WCBI News at 10 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Monroe County. The town of Smithville will face yet again having to build another grocery store, this time after a fire. Smithville Town Clerk Kim Clemens Johnson says the Smithville Discount Variety and Grocery Store caught fire late this evening. The fire, we're told, broke out around 7 o'clock. The store reopened last April after rebuilding from the April 2011 tornado. Johnson says that no one was injured in the blaze. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. In other news tonight, the Tupelo Public School District is looking for ways to become more innovative. Over the past few months, TPSD has conducted more than a dozen meetings with parents, students, and those in the community about improvements they'd like to see made in the district. Our Quentin Smith speaks with the school district to find out more about these improvements. He joins us live in the studio with more.
Scott, the district spoke with nearly 900 people trying to find out what the community's biggest needs are for the school district. Tomorrow, a meeting is being held to talk about the feedback they received from the community. And now that the district knows what those needs are, they're now working on trying to move the district in the right direction. Excellence is tradition. It's a common theme around the Tupelo Public School District. And now it's looking for ways to continue growing as an innovative district.
We are really blessed as a district to have educators who care deeply about all students, who hold high expectations, and who want to make sure that kids meet their full potential.
Stuart McMillan is the Innovation Program Facilitator with the school district. She says since September, they've heard from hundreds of people who have interest in seeing the district continue to grow. She says throughout this process, they wanted to find out what the community thought were the biggest needs for the school district.
The top greatest need is achievement gap closure, and specifically looking at subgroups of students, at students in poverty, at special education students, at English learners, and making sure they all have the supports that they need to meet their fullest potential.
McMillan says other big needs from the community include teacher staffing with an increased emphasis on staff diversity, along with meeting the social, emotional needs of all students.
We know that students come into our doors and they have a variety of needs above and beyond just the academic needs that they bring into the classroom. So having wraparound services, making sure our staff have learned about trauma-informed care and how to deal with students who have adverse childhood experiences, so we can best make sure that first and foremost kids feel safe, protected, and taken care of so that they can learn to the best of their ability.
District leaders say they value the feedback they receive from the community, which is why they're already working on ways to make these improvements.
Through this process, we've been able to capture feedback from a variety of stakeholders, and we hope that having this meeting, as well as sharing the PowerPoint and information on our website, that we are really showing we value the feedback of the community, we're listening, and we're going to work to make positive change based on that feedback.
Now, that meeting that the district is holding will be tomorrow evening at 5:30 at the middle school civic auditorium. During the meeting, the findings will be presented and community members will have a chance to give feedback and talk with district leaders. Scott?
All right, thanks very much, Quentin. Lawmakers are filing several bills that are aimed at scrapping the state's end-of-course exams. Today, it wasn't the legislators, but teachers, students, and parents that are giving the issue a voice. Courtney Ann Jackson has the latest from today's public hearing.
Teachers are starting to open up on testing, something they say dominates much of their classroom time every year.
We don't want school to be all about testing because that does instill a love of learning in students, and it doesn't prepare them for college and careers that will require more than multiple choice answers.
But the state's accountability model gives a lot of weight to how well those students score on the state tests.
Have teachers putting pressure on the students saying, you guys, I will lose my job if you don't do well. That's our reality in the low-income areas.
But several administrators note that you shouldn't get their pleas twisted.
The first thing I want to be clear about is I'm not running from accountability, and I don't think that our teachers are either. But what I'm more interested in is an accountability that's a little more or much more relevant to teachers and students and parents.
One student echoed that sentiment, saying they don't see the why in the testing.
A lot of students really just don't care because they know that it doesn't affect their GPA, or sometimes it doesn't affect what they do in like how they're admitted into colleges.
That's where ACT enters the discussion.
We're spending an awful lot of time on things that don't matter for kids. If we adjusted that amount of time over to ACT, that's something that's beneficial for them, there are many, many things that we would see across this state. You would see ACT scores jump. That means more money for scholarships.
Bills have been filed that would replace current subject area test with use of the ACT. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look at our forecast. Hey there, Keith.
It's got a pretty nice day. Lots of sunshine, clouds coming down in this evening, giving you rise to a great sunset. That was a view in Starkville earlier this evening, and also in Steens. A good chunk of North Mississippi and West Alabama seeing some vibrant color with the setting sun. Notice the wispy high clouds zipping on through here. No moisture tonight. Some high clouds. We are still chilly here where we live down at ground level. So lows tonight in the 30s. We're in the 30s right now. We will see the winds pick up tomorrow from the southeast at about 10 to 25. Clouds fill back in. A chance for some showers late in the day, but most of the day is going to be dry. We'll ballpark at around 50 degrees. Better rain chances tomorrow and Wednesday. More on that in just a few minutes, Scott.
Over 24 people in Maben met late this evening to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Everyone met out in front of the Maben Public Library. Flyers with one of many MLK's famous quotes were handed out to participants. As everyone marched, everyone sang songs. Maben has held the MLK parade for the past several years. In Tupelo, hundreds took to the streets in a motorcade. It was a culmination of a 4-day celebration of the life and legacy of Dr. King. Riley Martin tells us why the motorcade is part of many King observances across the nation and the symbolism behind the event.
As members of the County Line 4-H Club attached U.S. flags to a long line of cars and trucks for the motorcade, Florine Nels were called to Civil Rights March in Okolona.
It was exciting. It was really exciting until we had to go to jail in Okolona. Now that wasn't exciting. That was scary. They put the dogs on us, but we survived it.
Nels was in high school when Dr. King was assassinated in 1968, and she took part in marches and demonstrations calling for racial equality. MLK Day was first observed as a federal holiday in 1986, and the Tupelo Modern Beauticians Club organized a motorcade to represent the marches of the civil rights era. Since then, the motorcade has grown every year as individuals and organizations take time to remember the principles championed by Dr. King.
Just thank God that he took a stand for not only black but also for white, that we all can go to school together, because I was in a segregated school until 1970.
The motorcade is also an opportunity for organizers to encourage young people to not just view MLK Day as a day off of school, but a day to remember and reflect upon the high price paid in the struggle for civil rights.
I wish that we could have half of Tupelo in this motorcade to show our young people how important it is to make a dream come true, to make an effort to do something other than just lay up in the bed and sleep and play games.
Part of history, and it changed our world to shape it to the way it is now.
Kadarius and other young people in the motorcade say they are inspired by Dr. King and the sacrifices of so many in the fight for civil rights.
Keep the dream alive!
In Tupelo, Riley Martin, WCBI News.
The annual motorcade runs from the VF Factory outlet to St. Paul United Methodist Church.
A little bit of a wind chill factor out there this evening, down into the upper 20s in Columbus and Tupelo and Oxford. But generally speaking, a quiet night here. Some increase in high clouds, lows into the 30s. Your forecast is next. Stay tuned.
BI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's talk about your Tuesday. Clouds filling back in. We have a chilly start, so plan on that. Temperature somewhere in the 30s. Notice the window from the southeast, 10 to 25. We talked about that a few minutes ago. You'll notice it. Clouds thicken on up. High should be around 50. Showers possible later on in the day. There's the wind coming on in from the southeast, so breezy/windy day. There you have it. That is our day tomorrow. City by city, about 51 here in Bruce, New Albany, Ripley, Tupelo. That rain chance just 20% during the daylight hours. And then after the sun sets, rain chances go on up. 50, 51, 52 degrees here in the Golden Triangle area. Same story in the West Alabama. Again, winds from the southeast at 10 to 25. So that is tomorrow. Let's talk about the average highs. Right now today, 52 in North Mississippi. So right in that range tomorrow. Next month at this time, 58. By March 21st, 67. And then 5 months from today, actually, is the official start of summer. Our average will be 90 degrees. So just a couple of months away, you will be sweltering and already sick of the heat and humidity, I'm sure. The temperature trend in the near term, though, we are going to peak into the upper 50s, I think, Wednesday morning before we fall, and then back into the lower 40s or around 40 on Friday. So a bit of a roller coaster ride here. Let's talk about our time lapses from today. Look at all the great color we had. Our cirrus clouds advancing. Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi. You can see what a gorgeous scene we had out there. It's always nice to see the cirrus clouds come on in at sunset. All out ahead of our next system. There it is out there in the high plains. More snow again for those folks up there across the northern plains. But there's the center. That center stays to our north. We do have a cold front coming our way, though, so on ahead of it tomorrow, the breezes, the clouds fill back in. Notice how we don't really expect a lot of moisture during the day. Tomorrow night into our Wednesday, rain comes on in. A soggy day for us on Wednesday. Turning colder too, and if that cold air rushes in fast enough and interacts with some of that lingering moisture, we may see a little bit of light wintry mix here across parts of the region. Not guaranteed, something we are monitoring for Wednesday. Looks like it would be a low impact type situation if we do see it, and then mostly sunny conditions for our day Thursday, probably in the Friday too. I mentioned the rainfall factor for Wednesday, anywhere from about a ½ inch to maybe 1.5 inches, perhaps a little bit more. So a wet and nasty type day on Wednesday. And again, there could be a late mix. Our high, 58, that will be in the morning. Falling temperatures in the afternoon. And then back into the mid-20s for lows later in the week. 48 Thursday, 40 Friday. We're still monitoring the potential for a system here this weekend. Right now, we'll go with about 48 Saturday and Sunday with a 30% chance for some rain.
The global ambassadors of basketball bring their high-powered play to a hometown crowd. We head to the hoop coming up later in the show.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back. Blood donations, they're quick, they're easy, and one donation can save 3 lives. We learn more tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Sandy Kilburn, medical technologist and supervisor of the blood bank at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. I want to talk to you about the importance of donating blood. Why are blood donors important? Here are some statistics. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. More than 38,000 donations are needed every day. 1 of every 10 hospital admissions needs blood. About 14 million units of blood are transfused each year in the United States. Nearly 21 million blood components are transfused each year in the United States. It is estimated that sickle cell disease affects 90 to 100,000 people in the United States. About 1,000 babies are born with the disease each year. Sickle cell patients can require frequent blood transfusions throughout their lives. More than 1 million people are diagnosed with cancer each year and require almost daily transfusions during their chemotherapy treatments. The blood used in an emergency is already on the shelves before the event occurs. A single car accident victim can require as many as 100 units of blood. The blood type most often requested by hospitals is type O. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist when we will discuss some myths about blood donation.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
January, by the way, is National Blood Donor Month, and if you want to donate, here's your chance. On Friday, Baptist is holding a blood drive at the Outpatient Conference Center. It'll be from 11:30 that morning to 5:30 that evening. The football dogs reportedly are getting a few staffers to stick around for a bit longer. More on that coming up next in sports.
iSports with Courtney Robb.
The Mississippi State staff looks to have some consistency for now. First reported by GenesPage.com, Mississippi State defensive coordinator Bob Shoop and defensive line coach Brian Baker will be sticking around Starkville for a few more years, reportedly extending their contracts through the 2020 season. Shoop helped lead the Bulldogs through the 2018 season as the #1 defense in the country, only allowing 15 touchdowns from its opponents in the team's 13 games this season. This report comes less than 24 hours after running backs coach Chris Huff reportedly left the program to join Nick Saban's staff. And ESPN's Rob Demovsky reporting just moments ago that Mississippi State's offensive coordinator Luke Getsy will also be leaving to rejoin the Green Bay Packers as the quarterback's coach. We'll continue to bring you more information as it becomes available. Number 22, Mississippi State has an SEC road win under its belt, but can the team keep that momentum rolling to play in one of the toughest places in the conference? MSU faces off against number 8 Kentucky, and Rupp Arena throws down for college basketball. Ben Howland wasn't born yesterday. He knows playing in Lexington is no cakewalk, but says the non-conference battle at Dayton set a good standard for the upcoming game.
Won at Dayton, and that was a very good win, early on in our season. A very difficult place to play, incredibly loud, and, probably more like Rupp Arena than was Vanderbilt the other night in terms of the crowd being into the game and really being impactful. And, the other true road game we played was South Carolina, where we lost in overtime and, had a great chance to win, and it was, a hard place to play as well. So I think our guys, we have, an older group that's been on the road before, so I think they understand the challenge of winning on the road.
And speaking of hitting the road, number 20 Ole Miss will be doing the same thing tomorrow, except they'll be in Tuscaloosa. And Alabama might be unranked, but the team is still battling plenty hard. That was evident after the Crimson Tide nearly upset Tennessee. Ole Miss coming off of a win against Arkansas, but Devontae Shuler playing fewer minutes due to a stress fracture. He's a hard player to replace, but the Rebels continue to adjust around that.
Devontae, he's a special talent. He's pretty much our Iron Man. He played so many minutes, lead the SEC in minutes. Not sure, what it is now, but we just have to, it's a team. DC stepped up last game, and I think he can do it again. And Devontae, I think he's gonna be all right. He won't miss a game or miss too many games.
He didn't practice yesterday. He was just on the bike. There's so many. There's a wide variety when you start talking about stress reactions and stress fractures. I mean, there's the slightest and there's the most severe. There's some places on the foot where you can play. There's some that you can't. So he's got it on a place on his foot that is the best for him to play. And he said he felt better on Saturday. And he said he's getting better. And so I think that he's. He understands what he has to do. He's been very mature in his rehab. Today he'll come and practice, and then and we expect him to play tomorrow night.
It's cold outside, but soccer is still happening between Nettleton and TCPF. In the second half, the Eagles leading by 7. Lily Donald shoots, and the doink off of the post here, be off the crossbar and not good. Nettleton clears it out. TCPS would be pushing again, and what do you know, they scored 7 goals before we were able to get there, and the Eagles would go on to get the win tonight, 7-0. And the boys now having their senior night for the Eagles. Halfway through the first half, the Eagles would be on the attack, and they're able to score 1 goal to go up early. And the Eagles would get another goal a little bit later, too. They would end up with the win in this one, 2-0 over Nettleton. That's it for sports. Your last look is coming up after the break. Stick with us.
The world-famous Harlem Globetrotters entertained thousands of fans today in their unique basketball skills and hijinks. Many audience members became part of the show as the Globetrotters brought their all-new fan-powered world tour to Tupelo's Bancorp South Arena for one show. The Globetrotters took on the Washington Generals and brought their basketball wizardry and family entertainment to the court.
Go anywhere in the world, we're always the home team, which is pretty cool. And the one thing I do love about it is that, we may not be able to speak the language that well in other countries, but we always get that message across to our fans that if you come to see the Globetrotters, we're going to leave you going home with a smile or something that, something to remember about the Globetrotters, especially if you've never seen this before. It's just pretty cool.
Scooter's specialty is spinning the basketball on his nose. In fact, he holds the Guinness World Record for that. By the way, the Globetrotters defeated the Generals this afternoon.
I can't even dribble a basketball.
I can dribble a little
bit. And I just got a basketball for Christmas, and I was bricking them in my driveway this weekend. No chance. Anyway, all right, we have more clouds tomorrow, some breezes, rain, and then maybe a light mix there on Wednesday, but more rain than anything else with some falling temperatures. But we have a roller coaster up and down 7-day forecast.
And you said Wednesday, the afternoon, it was going to drop. So
much
people need to make sure they bundle up.
You see that 58, but that's going to be the morning, and it will fall.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.